Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Thieves target a Metro Detroit man and then taunt him on social media. New tonight, how he was able to track down his vehicle and then get it back. But first, we begin with weather, as the Forewarned weather team is tracking some fog for us tonight.
Forewarned meteorologist Kim Adams tracking the latest conditions. She joins us now with an update. Hi, Kim.
Hi, well, we do have some reports of visibility reduced down to a half a mile or less, and it's going to get worse as we go through the overnight hours. But the temperatures are above freezing, so we don't have to worry about ice on the roads. 44 in Detroit, 40 in Pontiac, 41 in Mount Clemens. We hit our high for the day just after midnight last night and spent most of the days in the 40s. The 60s just down to our south. If you go just about an hour down I-75, you run into 63-degree weather. It is in the 70s right now in parts of central Indiana, but that warm front is staying right along the border. Our issue tonight will be fog, dense at times, about 0.3 of a mile visibility in Pontiac and in Mount Clemens. City Airport was at a mile visibility just about 30 minutes ago. Now it's down to half a mile. So the fog is continuing to become more and more dense, and that will be the story as we go throughout the morning hours. Tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. you can see less than a half a mile visibility in many locations across Metro Detroit. Now, once the sun does come up, it will start to burn away just a bit, with highs in the afternoon in the low 50s. If you want to keep up to date on all the weather situations in your neighborhood, all you have to do is go to your favorite app store, type in WDIV, and download the free Forewarned weather app.
All right, Kim, thanks. Our other top story tonight, imagine getting your car stolen and then getting taunted about it.
Yeah, bizarre story here. A local man says it happened to him when his Dodge Charger Scat Pack was stolen. He then began receiving videos online of the thieves joyriding in his car. Victor Williams joins us live. Victor, you've learned he took action into his own hands to get his car back.
Yeah, that is correct. And this is a pretty odd story with some pretty bold actions coming from thieves, but it didn't really play out exactly how they wanted it to.
I'm just grateful to get it back like that, because some of the guys that were trying to help me find it, their cars were took too, and they said I got my car back completely stripped.
Brandon is lucky to be driving tonight in his Scat Pack. Less than 24 hours ago, it was in the hands of thieves.
I hear my car start up, and I look out the window, and I see it pulling off the driveway.
Because of that reason, he doesn't want to show his face or use his last name. The culprits were able to find Brandon's social media info, where they sent him several videos of his car being taken on a dangerous joyride.
The people text me saying, I got your car, I need $3,000 for it back.
Brandon thought the worst. That's until he received word that his car was spotted on Detroit's west side.
Somebody sent me a tip where they thought they saw the car, and I thought I seen the car too, and I had called the police and let them know, and the police were like, well, we can't go back there and get your car. There's nothing we can do about it.
From there, he decided to take matters into his own hands, picking up his car from Dexter and Joy Road with just a couple of friends at 4 a.m. But he's puzzled as to what the plan was.
It's not adding up to me, you know what I mean? It's not, you want $3,000 for a car that has a $10,000 motor in it, you know what I mean? You know, I knew whoever took it didn't really know, because anybody that knows these cars, they're very high value cars.
Thankfully, it was all in one piece, with only a busted out rear passenger window.
Are you worried at all about these kids coming back?
Yes and no. You know, they do know where I live, but at the same time, I'm not really worried about it, you know what I mean? I have the means, you know, to defend my home if it ever comes down to that type of situation, you know what I mean?
And Brandon says he's just happy to have his car back, but he's going to be keeping his head on a swivel from now on. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Yeah, just a really bizarre story. Glad everything turned out okay. Victor, we appreciate it. All right, Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin remains in critical condition after he collapsed during last night's game against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest and collapsed moments after getting up from a tackle on Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. Medical teams performed CPR and then gave the 24-year-old oxygen on the field for nearly 10 minutes. Right now, Hamlin remains sedated in critical condition at the UC Medical Center in Cincinnati, with plans to remain there overnight. Meantime, family and friends and teammates united in their support of his recovery.
He has a strong family. I mean, he has the ideal support system. I mean, they're optimistic. Damar is someone that you would trust and believe to come out on top of anything that he is faced with.
This afternoon in Buffalo, Fans gathered outside Highmark Stadium for a prayer vigil. The NFL postponed last night's game. Officials say there's been no discussion about this weekend's games and that counselors are available for every team in the NFL.
And meantime, that type of injury is what doctors say is commotio cordis, and it happens when someone suffers a really hard blow to the chest, and it's exactly at the right time, the precise instant in the electrical cycle, and it actually stops the heart.
Yeah, it's really very rare, but it has been seen at times in other sports where a player gets hit with a hockey puck or a baseball. Jason Colthorpe spoke to parents and coaches to get their thoughts today.
When this sort of thing happens, you have to wonder, does it change the mentality of a parent or the athlete themselves to want to get back on the field? But if you remember back in 1998, a similar thing happened to Chris Pronger, a hockey player for the Blues, took a puck right in the chest and it did the same thing to his heart. He was able to recover, and it's that sort of thing that makes you realize it's a freak situation, and coaches and parents are keeping that in mind.
My first thought was that I'm taking my son to college on Saturday.
Carrie Drogosh's son Brady is going to the University of Cincinnati to play quarterback. She, a former athletics director, and her husband, a coach, have often factored in the dangers of the game for their sons, but also note the safety measures in place.
Really, short of being at the hospital, that was probably the second best place for a medical emergency to take place because of the people who are qualified that are right there.
I think it's kind of a fluke, and I really don't think parents have to worry about their youth player succumbing to a cardiac event out on the field.
Tom McLean coaches the St. Regis Raiders, kids grades 3 through 8. He and others don't think what happened to Damar Hamlin will prompt parents to shield their kids from any ball field simply because of the life lessons.
From a physical fitness standpoint, team building, confidence building, there's really no sport quite like it. So I kind of ascribe to the Harbaugh brothers and what they say about playing the game, and the advantages far outweigh the risk.
I'm not sure it will really discourage people because I think it was such a freak moment, and the amount of injury that you see, like I think something like Tua's injury would be more indicative of someone not wanting their child to play because it's the multiple blows over time.
I did reach out to some youth football parents, and they were in unison in the fact that they feel this isn't the sort of thing that's going to keep their kid off the football field. They're more worried about when they get older and the competitors get bigger and the risk for those injuries are a little bit more. We're downtown at Cass Tech. Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Very real concerns, though, Jason. We appreciate that. And sudden cardiac arrest is actually the leading cause of death in young athletes, but those cardiac arrests are most often caused by an undiagnosed pre-existing heart condition, not a blow to the chest. Experts say both causes highlight the importance of having people trained in CPR and an AED at the ready. Coverage on Hamlin's condition continues next on NBC Nightly News. They'll be taking a deeper look at safety in the NFL. That's immediately following this broadcast at 6:30.
Breaking news from the nation's capital. The House has just adjourned after Congressman Kevin McCarthy failed to lock down the votes needed to become House Speaker. McCarthy received support from an overwhelming majority of Republicans, but fell short of the threshold to be elected Speaker during 3 separate votes. The opposition to McCarthy has been fueled by far-right Republicans who put their support behind Ohio Representative Jim Jordan in this last round of voting. The House is expected to be back in session tomorrow at noon.
All right, a Helping Hank alert for anybody booking a flight out of Metro Airport anytime soon. Prices are jumping. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester live in Allen Park with the reason and your other big consumer headlines tonight. Hi, Hank.
Hey, Kimberly, good evening to you. A lot of important information tonight when we're talking about the airlines. I just noticed this as I was trying to book a flight today. Prices have jumped up dramatically on the big popular carriers like Delta, Spirit, United. The reason? Well, we can all blame Southwest. Take a look. Get ready because airline prices are taking off. Delta, United, and American have all increased their prices in the last week in cities where Southwest operates. Detroit Metro, one of the affected areas. Prices up almost 25% now to many destinations across the country. A recall alert you should be aware of: the 2015 to 2016 Volkswagen Beetles are being recalled. 40,000 vehicles altogether. There's an airbag issue. It's a simple fix, but you need to contact your dealer. And finally, a scam alert involving the Unemployment Insurance Agency in Michigan. Fake emails being sent to those collecting unemployment right now. They're saying that they need to verify your personal information, but all they're trying to do is steal your personal information and create a new identity. You should contact UIA if you have any concerns. It seems like every month we're hearing about a new UIA scam. Remember all the scams affecting Metro Detroiters, the deals, the recalls, the information you need to know, the consumer headlines. They're right on the Help Me Hank page at clickondetroit.com. We're live here tonight in Allen Park. Hank Winchester, Help Me Hank. Back to you.
Hank, thanks.
COVID cases. They are down slightly over the last week here in Michigan. The state is reporting 9,793 new cases in the past 7 days. That's an average of about 1,400 per day. We did lose another 69 lives to the virus.